G's Rolling Sweet Pea L, a 2017 Missouri Foxtrotter mare, black and white Tobiano. This is Sweet Pea when she was little with her mama, Chief's Mighty Jordan D. You can see there's a lot of color in her pedigree. This is her sire, Gone and Done It. He was a versatility and performance show horse. This is her grandsire, the late great Playboy's Country Boy, who had multiple world grand champions in model. This is Sweet Pea when she was a yearling. I trained her as a yearling for the previous owners. She done really well, took everything in, stayed very laid back in all I asked her to do. We brought her along slow and easy.
Whoa!
This is actually my grandson. We led him around when she was a yearling. This is Sweet Pea now. She's a 3-year-old. I acquired her when she was a 2-year-old. I've owned her for approximately 14 months. I've done all the training on her. She has awesome disposition, conformation, and is beautiful to look at. I'm trimming Sweet Pea with the clippers. It doesn't bother her. Can bridle path her. Trim her muzzle. Takes it all in stride. Can trim her ears. And you can also trim her fetlocks. She bays easy. Very willing, very patient. I also shoe Sweet Pea myself. She picks up her feet, easy to shoe. She was an aught. This is Sweet Pea with the tarp. Stands well for farrier work. As a 3-year-old, it does not bother her at all. She is loose in my round pen, so she could actually take off running if it scared her, but it does not, so she just walks on easy. And even with the tarp up on her hair, once again, I do not have a rein on her. She could run if she wanted to, but it does not bother her. She just takes it all in stride. Here I center around the round pin, and you can see her cross over the tarp. She's been flagged out. Flag does not bother her. It's popping noises around. She's actually drove cattle with flag popping at them. Does not spook her at all. You can touch her with the flag. Once again, I do not have a hold of her, so she's not being forced to stand there. She's just taking it all in stride. Does not bother her. Touch her head with it, her nose with it, pop it. Here I am showing you how you can pick up all Sweet Pea's feet. She willingly lets me have them all. She's not tied. She's standing on her own. And I am my own farrier. I shoe my own horses, so it's important they let me get under them and waller, getting the job done. This is Sweet Pea taking the bridle. She has been used in everything from a ring snaffle to easy shank bits. She handles them all very well. You do not use a harsh bit on this filly. And she drops the bit out of her mouth very easily. Stands and waits. This is Sweet Pea's first and only time that I have rode her bareback. This was straight out of the stall. This little mare was not warmed up. I just put the bridle on her and crawled on. She done very well for her first time. Sweet Pea takes the saddle very well. She does not mind the stirrups slapping and the cinches flapping around on her. I have also used a back cinch on her, as you can tell. If that is your preference, she has had one used on her. Mounting Sweet Pea is easy. She just waits and stands still, waits for my cue to take off, stands patiently, walks off easy. This is the flat foot walk. She has a nice smooth walk. You can hear the rhythm. Tell she walks correctly. She has a great flat foot walk. This little mare does not pace. She walks and she trots very well. Here we are transitioning up to the Foxtrot. To get her to Foxtrot, you just bump with both feet and she will hit her Foxtrot very easily. It's very smooth Foxtrot. You can tell I am not bouncing real hard in the saddle, that she is a smooth traveling mare. I do a lot of body communication when I train my horses, and you can see here that when you put your weight back down in the saddle, she knows that's a sign that she's going to stop, and she backs very easily. Walks off in a trail walk. Here she picked up her left lead lope. I do same side cue my horses. If I want the left lead, I bump with the left foot. She has a beautiful, beautiful lope. Very smooth, very easy. She stays gathered in her lopes. There you can see again, I sit down and she stopped and backed. Here she's in her flat foot walk again. And there goes a transition to her Foxtrot. And very easily again, you see she picks up her right lead lope there. This little mare is a lot of fun to ride. She's an enjoyable ride. I look forward to riding this little mare every day. This is Sweet Pea traveling up the road. She has a great flat-foot walk and a foxtrot for trail riding. She's been trail rode a lot. I have a neighbor that has 4,000 acres that we get the trail ride on along with my own farm. Here she is coming up the hill in a nice faster walk. You can hear her rhythm. Got very good rhythm. We live in the Missouri Ozark Hills, and she gets to ride out on the hills and the country and through brush and trees a lot. She's always willing to ride out on her own. Been rode alone a lot. Doesn't bother her to be out by herself. Travels along very patiently and smooth. Here we are coming up the road. My husband's actually behind us in the side-by-side recording. It doesn't bother her with it running behind her. You can actually check your mail. The side pass back over and head on home. It's been really dry here in Missouri, and water's kind of hard to find this fall, but we managed to find a hole in the creek that was deep enough she could get out in and walk around and show you she can cross water. She doesn't mind crossing water. She'll stop and play in it a little bit and get drinks. The gravel bar walking in there was deep and rough, and she didn't stumble. She's a very sure-footed horse. She's got very good feet. Here she is coming down the road crossing a slab. Back in the spring, we crossed this slab a lot with water running pretty deep through it, but you can see it's all dried up now. She walks back out into the gravel. Pivots around and steps back up on the slab. Here we are checking cattle. She likes to work cattle. She's got quite a bit of cow sense. Likes to be around cattle. Sweet Pea's worked the sale barn probably 9 months or more of her training ever since I started training her, and she does very, very well at the sale barn. Here she is standing patiently while she's waiting to do her job. And here we are working the gate where the cattle come out. You can see how she just works patiently and does her job and trails the cattle. The noise of the speakers, the gates banging, none of this bothers her. She actually really has a lot of cow sense. You can see her right her ears back at them cattle. She wants to go after them. Even a baby, she could drive patiently. She does not get in a hurry. She does not rush.
Right behind you, Linda. Linda, right behind you, baby.
Goes as slow as she needs to go to get the job
Let's
done.
go to baby pin again.
It doesn't matter if you're driving one or a whole big group. She stays right in there and does her Pivots around and heads back from. She also rides around other horses at the sale barn and does a real good job around other horses. You can see her working the gate where the cattle come out, how calm she stays, how she does not get spooky at all when they come out with the gate banging.
Thank you.
And sometimes we have a little fun at the sale barn, and this is one of those days. She just stood patiently while I stood up. Here's Sweet Pea loading. Loads up by herself, backs out easily. See her load back up again. Here's Sweet Pea in my arena with the tarp while I'm in the saddle, letting it hang on her hips. She stands quietly. I ask her to pivot. It does not bother her at all. She still listens to what I ask her to do. Can even lay it up over her head. She just stands quietly. It does not rush her when I ask her to pivot away from it. We're moving it over to the other side. She walks across it nicely and even backs up. The movement under her feet doesn't spook her or bother her at all. Dragging an object behind her doesn't bother her. Here we are with the tire dragging, the rope hanging. The rope will actually rub on her hips as I drag this, and still she just listens to what I ask her to do. Doesn't bother at all dragging behind her. It doesn't bother her with it dragging toward her either. I have actually slung ropes at cattle off this little mare. She does well trailing cattle and slinging a rope off of her too. Sweet Pea's a very versatile, athletic little Foxtrotter mare. We decided to pattern her on some speed events, and this is her doing the poles. She was not pushed hard to do these. She only had a couple of weeks that we patterned her, and she just got a natural ability to run and flex. And she likes the speed events too. She likes doing different things. This is her on the barrels. You can tell that she flexes well. She gets down, she uses her rear end to push out. She would be a good little mare to take to play days too and have some fun. Here we are side passing over a rail. She's side passing to the right. Stays very calm. Stays in position and side passes back to the left. Here Sweet Pea is learning some maneuvers in a reining pattern. She's only 3 and she still has training that needs to be done in these areas, but you can see how far this little mare has come. Just being a 3-year-old and being able to do so many different things. Here we are doing her spins to the right and the left. She can pick up her lopes right from the stop. Just cue her and she'll pick them up. She'll stay gathered, do some smooth circle work. We like to have a little fun and change things up to create a very well-rounded, versatile horse. Here she is transitioning down to a slower lope. Switching over to her right lead, loping out a little faster. And transitioning back down to a slower lope. Pivot to the right and begin her right lead lope. Pivot to the left and left lead lope. Stop and a back. Like I said, she's only 3 and we just been working on this a few days. I'm just so pleased at how she does so many things that I ask her, and she stays gathered and calm. Here we are working the gait. You can work the gait any direction on Sweet Pea. Side pass over, get the gait and go through backwards. Just ask her to pivot around and back through it. Or you can work it forward. And she'll take her time and be patient. She doesn't rush through a gait. And she'll stand quietly while you latch it. Sweet Pea's first and only show that she had ever shown in was the 2020 Missouri Foxtrotter Horse Breed Association show and celebration the first part of September. She came away with 4 reserve world champions. Sweet Pea showed in many different events and versatility, including pleasure, speed events. This is her in the poles, the short clip showing how she ran good. She had a great run going. This is Sweet Pea in a trail class that she got reserve world champion in. walking over the wood bridge with the flowers. Over the poles. If you'll notice the canopies and the golf carts, the music, all the distractions around the arena never bothered her. She went in and done her job, foxtrotting down through the arena. Working obstacles. And flatfoot walking up through a serpentine. She goes up into a walkthrough with a back around. This is an obstacle where every step counts. Sweet Pea done perfect. She done such an amazing job. So patient, making every step count. I was so pleased how this little mare kept it all together for her first show. She showed against aged horses that had shown for years. And like I said, came away with 4 reserve world champions and many other ribbons. She was 4th in the all-around versatility horse. Sweet Pea also showed in the ranch horse classes. She excelled in cutting. She came away with a reserve world champion in cutting. She had 4 reserve world champions, and this is the picture. She was reserve world champion in barrels, reining, cutting, and trail. And this shows how relaxed she was at the show. She just took it all in. I was so very well pleased with this little mare. Sweet Pea gets daily turnout where she can roll and play and just be a horse, develop a good mind, develop good joints and bones. She likes being turned out to enjoy herself. She gets turned out, but all you have to do is just call her name and she'll come to you. She's always been easy to catch. This is a cool recording I took of Sweet Pea traveling in slow motion. It shows the reach that she has stepping out, and it shows her foot placement. A lot of people like to see that like to watch a horse gait. She does very well. I started a new program here at 5J Farms. Sweet Pea is the first to come through this program. I pick a prospect based on breeding, disposition, conformation, and color is a bonus. I want to make a well-rounded, versatile horse that can do anything and go on in any direction. Whether you want to do trail or cutting, ranch horse work, pleasure showing, or maybe even model classes because she's so beautiful. Or even someday raising colts because she has the best breeding to throw color and good disposition. Sweet Pea currently stands at 14 hands and weighs approximately 1,100 pounds. I believe she will mature to 15 to 15.1 hands, approximately 12 to 1,250 pounds. She will be a stockier made foxtrotter that will have the strength to do it all. She'll be a well-rounded, all-around horse. If that's what you're looking for, take a look.